between wanting to absolutely crush it in life, be the best version of yourself, but you just don't know where to start.
Oh, absolutely. I think everyone feels that way sometimes.
So today we are diving deep, no motivational poster platitudes here, into there's no plan B for your A game. Just skimming those chapter titles, unnatural talent, domination, predator, like I was hooked.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of intense, in-your-face energy to it, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like, all right, no more messing around. And it kicks off with this whole idea of really knowing your starting point before you even think about setting goals. Like one of the first things it asks is, what are my actual values? Not just what I wish they were.
Right, or what everyone else says they should be.
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes even deeper, asking, what's that dream I've been too scared to even admit to myself?
Ooh, that's getting real. And honestly, that level of self-awareness, that honesty from the get-go, it's crucial because if you're trying to build a life, let alone an A game, on a foundation of half-truths or like straight-up wishful thinking, that's just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, it's like starting to build a house without even checking if the ground is level. Disaster waiting to happen. But okay, so you're clear on your values. You've even admitted those secret dreams to yourself. Then it throws this curveball. Chapter 2, unnatural talent. And instead of just picturing success, you know, that whole visualization thing, it wants you to write a whole story about it. Struggles, failures, the works.
It's kind of a fascinating take on visualization, right? Like
Yeah.
most people, they picture the highlight reel, the trophy, the whatever success looks like moment.
Exactly. But this is like, hold on, tell me the whole messy journey.
Exactly. By writing about your future success as if it's already happened, struggles and all, you're sending a powerful message to your brain. You're basically saying, get ready, this is happening.
It's like that exercise where you write a letter to your future self, as if you've already achieved your dreams. It's a way of making it feel tangible, you know?
Absolutely. And this source takes it a step further. They talk about this 20-year plan they wrote, in crayon no less. Sounds crazy, but they still have it to this day, and they swear it's helped them stay focused on their goals all these years.
So it's like having that physical reminder, that visual cue to keep you on track. I like it.
Exactly. But visualization is only part of the equation. This book is all about action, which brings us to Chapter 3, Declaration.
Oh yeah, this is where things get serious. The book doesn't mess around telling you to name it, claim it, and point your life toward it.
Right. It's about aligning every action you take with the goals you've set. It's about making a conscious decision to pursue your dreams.
It's like making a promise to yourself and then actually heaping it.
Exactly. But the thing is, and this is where it gets really interesting, to actually achieve those goals, to really commit to that declaration, it means saying no to a lot of other things.
So not just saying no to things you don't want to do, but also to those tempting distractions that can so easily derail us.
Exactly. Because every time you say yes to one thing, you're inherently saying no to something else. It's about understanding the idea of opportunity cost. Like, have you ever thought about it that way? Every time you're, say, scrolling through social media for an hour, you're essentially saying no to an hour you could be spending on your goals.
So if I spend all weekend binge watching that new show everyone's talking about, I'm basically saying no to making progress on that business idea I've been kicking around.
Exactly. It's like your time and energy, they're a currency, and you've got to spend them wisely. And that leads us to one of the most practical, but maybe also kind of daunting chapters, preparation. This is where the book really dives into ruthlessly eliminating distractions.
Oh man, I felt that one. That distraction inventory they have you do, I was sweating a little. It's brutally honest, but also, like, necessary. Because let's be real, who hasn't lost an hour scrolling through social media when they should have been doing something else?
Yeah, we're all guilty of that. But this book takes it a step further. It's not just about listing distractions. It's about actively redesigning your environment to set yourself up for success. Think about it this way. If you're trying to eat healthier and you know you can't resist those cookies, you put them in a hard-to-reach cabinet.
Or you just don't buy them in the first place.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind. Right. This book is like, do the same with your digital distractions. Delete those tempting apps. Set strict time limits. Make it as difficult as possible for yourself to indulge in those bad habits.
It's like building roadblocks for those moments of weakness.
Yeah.
I like it. You're making it harder for yourself to fail.
Exactly. And this whole idea of surrounding yourself with the right influences, it extends beyond just our environment. It also applies to the people we choose to spend time with. You know, building that A-game team, which is what the next chapter, Acceleration, is all about.
Right. And it's not about using people to get ahead. It's about attracting the right kind of support system, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and push you to be your best.
Exactly. The book suggests that when you're truly committed to your goals, when you're vibrating at that higher frequency, the right people will naturally gravitate towards you. You become this magnet for those who resonate with your vision and your dedication. Think about those really charismatic leaders or artists who just seem to effortlessly attract talent and support. It's that kind of energy this book wants you to tap into.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We've got our goals, we've banished distractions, and we're hanging out with people who inspire us. What's next?
Now it's time to turn those intentions into action, which brings us to Chapter 6, Domination. And trust me, this one does not disappoint.
Okay, lay it on me. How do we dominate?
The book gets straight to the point, telling you to pinpoint 3 and only 3 things you'll do every single day to get closer to your dream. Miss a day, even once, and you're not taking it seriously enough. It's a wake-up call, but it's effective.
So, no more of this "I'll get to it eventually" mentality. It's about taking action consistently. But we both know it's not always easy to stick to new habits. How does the book address that?
That's where Chapter 7, Accountability, comes in. It introduces this concept of championships and how to turn those daily actions into solid habits. Have you ever heard of the 66-day challenge?
Vaguely, but remind me, what's the deal with that?
So basically, you take a new habit, any habit, and commit to doing it every single day for 66 days straight. No excuses. And apparently, there's some science behind it, something about how long it actually takes to form a new neural pathway and solidify a habit.
66 days. That's oddly specific.
Right, but think about it. It's so much more effective than just saying, I'll try to do better. It's like, nope, this is happening every day for the next 66 days.
So it's like a boot camp for your habits, turning should-dos into I-did-it moments. Love it. Okay, so for those distractions we can't completely eliminate, like work emails or, let's be real, doing the dishes, what's the game plan?
Well, the book doesn't sugarcoat it. It pretty much says you have to become the master of your time. Can't completely eliminate a distraction, fine, but we can minimize its impact, take back control. So it talks about creating a plan for those unavoidable distractions, like designated times for checking emails or batching similar tasks together.
Instead of letting those things kind of bleed into your whole day and derail your focus, you're like, nope, this is when I deal with this, and not a minute sooner.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, not reactive. And that focus on being present, in control, it leads perfectly into, and this is where things get a little interesting, the next chapter, Predator.
Okay, so this is the part where I was like, wait, what? The book says to watch, get this, slow motion videos of predators hunting. Did I read that right?
You did. It does sound a little out there at first, right?
Just a tad.
But stick with me on this one, because it's not about channeling your inner lion and suddenly craving a gazelle burger.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's about tapping into that laser-like focus, that pure presence a predator embodies when they hunt.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
They're not worried about what they're going to have for dinner later or that bill they forgot to pay. You know, they're completely locked in on that moment, on achieving that one goal.
And that's the kind of energy we all need to tap into, right? Whether it's tackling a big project at work or, like you said, just getting through a mountain of emails without getting totally sidetracked.
Exactly. It's about being fully present in the pursuit of your goal. And the book takes it even a step further with something called the Sacred Six Ritual.
The Sacred Six Ritual. All right, you get to break this one down for me. What is that?
So picture this. It's a series of 6 exercises, and it's all about enhancing your presence, both physically and vocally. And it starts with grounding yourself.
Like literally connecting with the earth.
Yes, like feeling your feet on the ground, visualizing roots extending down into the earth. It sounds kind of woo-woo, but it's actually incredibly grounding, both literally and figuratively.
I can see how that would be amazing to do before a big presentation or something, to calm those nervous jitters. Just like center yourself.
Exactly. It's about being present in your body and in your environment, about owning your space. And it builds from there with movements and vocal exercises designed to help you project confidence.
So it's almost like something athletes or performers would do, right? To get in the zone, to command attention.
Exactly. And this idea of commanding attention, of owning your space, it ties into another crucial aspect of self-improvement, confronting our inner critic, rewriting those negative narratives that can really hold us back. Which brings us to Chapter 11, aptly titled, No Obstacles, No Hero.
This book does not shy away from challenges, does it?
Not at all. This chapter is all about recognizing that real growth, it rarely happens in our comfort zones. It's about pushing past those limits, those self-imposed boundaries we often set for ourselves.
So instead of trying to make things easier, we should actually be seeking out those challenges. That's a pretty counterintuitive concept. Most people try to avoid failure at all costs.
Right. But this book flips that whole idea on its head, arguing that those uncomfortable, challenging situations, those are the crucibles where true transformation happens. It encourages us to embrace the difficult, the unknown, to lean into those areas where we might stumble.
Because it's on the other side of those challenges, on the other side of that discomfort, that we discover what we're truly capable of.
Exactly. There's that great quote, "Smooth seas never made a skilled sailor." And this source actually suggests revisiting your goals and asking yourself, are they challenging enough?
So instead of setting the bar at a level we're pretty sure we can clear, we should be aiming higher, even if it seems a little bit impossible at first.
Precisely, because think about it, what's more exhilarating than achieving something you initially thought was out of reach?
I can see how that would be pretty motivating. But what about those times when we're feeling discouraged, when those doubts start creeping in? How do we silence that inner critic that tells us we're not good enough or that we're going to fail?
That's such an important question, and it's actually addressed beautifully in the book. The source uses this really fascinating analogy. They ask you to think about your all-time favorite fictional character.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And then they ask, why are you drawn to that character? What is it about their story that resonates with you?
Okay, I think I'm starting to see where you're going with this.
So who's your all-time favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough one. But I'd have to say Hermione Granger from Harry Potter.
Classic choice.
She's brilliant, brave, and she always stands up for what she believes in, even when it's hard.
Exactly. And she's constantly facing challenges, overcoming obstacles, right? We're naturally drawn to stories of resilience and triumph. Think about it. We root for the underdog, the character who faces adversity head on and comes out stronger on the other side.
Oh, absolutely. It's like those stories tap into something deep within us, some innate desire to see the good guy win, to see someone overcome adversity.
Exactly. And this book is reminding us that we all have that same capacity for strength and resilience within us. It's about tapping into those qualities and allowing ourselves to be challenged, to face our fears, knowing that we have the inner strength to overcome them.
Because it's through those experiences, through those challenges, that we write our own stories of growth and transformation. It's like we become the heroes of our own lives.
And speaking of stories, that leads us perfectly into Chapter 13, Your Story Matters. This chapter really resonated with me because it delves into the narratives we tell ourselves, those internal monologues that can either empower us or completely hold us back.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's like we're all walking around with these pre-written scripts about who we are, what we're capable of, and what the future holds. But those scripts aren't always accurate. Sometimes they're just plain wrong.
You hit the nail on the head. And often we've been clinging to these stories, these narratives, for so long that we don't even question whether they're true anymore. We just accept them as fact. So this chapter challenges us to examine those stories, to ask ourselves, are these narratives actually serving me? Or are they just echoes of past experiences, limiting beliefs that are holding me back?
So it's like holding up a mirror to our own thoughts and beliefs and being honest about which ones are helping us and which ones are holding us back. But once we've identified those limiting beliefs, those negative self-talk patterns, what do we do with them? How do we get rid of them?
We rewrite them.
Wait, really? It's that simple?
Well, it sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's about actively choosing to tell ourselves a different story, one that's more empowering, more aligned with our goals and aspirations.
So it's about taking control of that inner monologue, that voice in our head, and replacing those negative, limiting thoughts with positive affirmations and beliefs that support our growth.
Exactly. And this isn't about denying reality or pretending that everything is always sunshine and rainbows. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, on what we can control, and on the steps we can take to create the life we want.
It's like that saying, the only limits are the ones we set for ourselves.
And sometimes those are the most powerful limits of all. We convince ourselves that we're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough to achieve our dreams, and then, guess what? we unconsciously sabotage ourselves.
Well, it's like that Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. Our beliefs shape our reality. So if we want to create positive change, if we want to achieve those big, audacious goals, we have to start by changing the stories we tell ourselves, the narratives we choose to believe.
So it's not just about acknowledging the stories we're telling ourselves. It's about actively choosing to rewrite them in a way that empowers us to become the people we want to be.